Adam, thank you very much. I'm pleased to be joined live in the studio by Tammi Pitzen, the Executive Director of the Children's Advocacy Center of Jackson County. Tammi, good to see you. How are you today?
Good to see you. Thank you.
So we're here today to talk a little bit about the tragedy that happened in Ashland. Obviously, there's so much we don't know about this case, but you work with quite often with children who've been victims of abuse and victims of crime. So you work with children quite often. What should we as parents, as community members, talk to our kids about, or should we? How do we talk to our kids about this?
I think you take your cues from your kids. If they don't know anything about it, I don't know that you would talk to them about it, but if they're asking questions, if they're, I think you need to be watching them. If they're upset, expect sleep disturbances. If they're angry, those kinds of things are normal after something like this happens. And just have a conversation about, what are you feeling? If they're angry, what are you angry about? I don't know that kids always know how to articulate what their feelings are, and so you're more likely to see actions than you are to hear them say, "This makes me sad." And so I think just being aware and helping them to process this, to give them options if they need to process more than what you're able to do, then to talk with their pediatrician or a qualified mental health professional.
Yeah, growing up is hard for everyone.
Yeah.
It's difficult. And are there warning signs that parents should look for? I mean, that's difficult to say because we've all had tough times as kids.
Right. I think everybody is grasping right now, wanting indicators and wanting answers about why. What I would say is, as a parent, if you have concerns about your child's behavior, like I call it a gut check, if you have that feeling right here that something's not right, then don't ignore that and talk with, I would suggest talking with a pediatrician first. Because they would have been with you with your child throughout all of their developmental stuff and would be able to talk more with you specifically about your child. But if you have a child, and some things are, what I would say is right now everybody probably could look and find indicators in the kids in their lives because you're looking for those kinds of things. So I don't want anybody to be alarmed and overreacting because of what's happened. But if you have a child that is normally very social and becomes isolated, if you have a child who displays aggressive behavior and that's a different behavior for them, then I would encourage you to talk with a qualified mental health professional or, again, your pediatrician or family care practice doctor, because they would be able to help you weed through that and know what it means for your child.
Okay, makes a lot of sense. We're going to take a quick break.
Sure.
Not much more with Tammi in a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to our 5 on 5. Again, we're here with Tammi Pitzen from the Children's Advocacy Center. We're talking after, of course, the tragedy in Ashland yesterday, and we're talking about stress and children and what we can, as parents, can do to help regard that. You're a parent, I'm a parent. What can we look out for as our kids deal with situations like this or have traumatic incidents? What should we look for to manage their stress?
And young kids, they're not going to tell you, I'm feeling stressed out about this. What you might see is sleep disturbances, eating disturbances, kids that they may not be able to say, I feel sad. They may show anger instead. And so I think really when you see those behaviors, taking a step back and trying to have a conversation or open a dialogue with them. With the older kids, you just might see more isolation. They may not, they may be embarrassed to talk about feelings. They're more likely in this day and age to be posting their feelings on Facebook or social media because it feels more anonymous to them. And so I think being aware of what's happening and what's going on. Teachers might see in their classroom behaviors out of their kids that they don't normally see because kids are confused by this as much as the adults are. And so, and they may not be sleeping well, so you might not have as much of an attention span as what you would expect normally from students. And so I think being open and aware of what's going on and being able to respond or offer options for them to be able to process.
Yeah, we certainly see the professionals, people like yourself, people who work on your staff, Ashland Police Chief Ty O'Mara, a lot of people, of course, affected by this tragedy, and so much, as we've talked about, and on air and off, is unknown in this case. Kind of have to let the process play itself out and be there for the people we care about. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right, stay with us. We'll be right back.